Today we're going to talk about one of the most asked questions on this channel. Can I get my kid a fursuit? I can't control what you do, but it's not really a great idea. But I'm also going to show you some alternatives to getting a fursuit that could work until your child is of the age that they can get a fursuit. The biggest problem with kids getting fursuits is when you make a fursuit, you have to agree to these terms. The fursuit sign-ups. What is your height? What is your weight? Will this stay the same in the next 6 months to 3 years? You have to sign on the dotted line. Kids are growing still. If a parent stared a fursuit maker dead in the face and said, "They're not growing anymore. No more. I have all the money. Just take my money," they would just be like, "Okay, I guess." I'm not saying rich parents can't do what they want, because they're going to anyway, but you're going to be disappointed afterwards when your kid was 4'9" and suddenly they're 5'8" and they can't fit in. You probably shouldn't get a fursuit for your child. Even hands don't stop growing, right? You don't want fursuit makers to waste their time making something that's never going to be worn by anyone. So if a fursuit's not a good idea, what is a good idea? Well, making your own ears and tail. Ears and tails are great. I made these myself. So very simple, extremely simple, lots of really good tutorials on the internet. It's just wire, headband, little bit of fur, very cute. I'll put them on. There we go. Kind of looks like that a little bit. Very fluffy. Very, very fluffy. You can even get them done in the colors of your kid's fursona. It's super easy. Super, super easy to do. You don't even need a sewing machine. You can hand sew this. I really recommend using a sewing machine though, because it's a lot easier. This is all gonna be hand done. Glue. I used glue. Everybody has glue, right? If you're fancy, you can make a belt loop here. This is what my fursuit maker did. That other tail I made myself. I didn't really realize that you had to make a belt loop in order to put it on your... But this is a lot easier to wear. That one, I have to safety pin on me. It's not great. It's not great when the safety pins open up. No, I recommend putting a belt loop in. Another great option is dino masks. So dino masks are on the internet. I don't have any at my apartment here, so I can't show you. But you can grab a mask and you can customize it yourself in the colors of your fursuit, in anything that you really want. I do this in my cosplays all the time. I'll make like paper masks and just stick them on my face. So another option would be, if you wanted to draw a face-on shot of your fursona, you could just plop, stick it on there, and then wear that around. Why not? Usually when I do this for cosplay, I will have a mask that I got from the dollar store in this case, and I will put that mask on my head, and then I'll stick whatever it is, kingpin in this situation, on that mask. And then it's more comfortable. It's not just paper on my face at that point. It's actually like, it's got grooves for your nose and stuff. And you can put foam on the inside here to make it easier to wear. There's like a big plastic thing there. That would scratch my head if I wore this a lot. So just put some foam on there, make it nice and comfortable. Another really cool option that I see a lot of kids doing is the paper masks that aren't like printed on, but they're making them out of paper themselves. I think they're really cool. And we're gonna make one of Z real quick, just to show you how fast and easy it is. Do like a rough sketch. Get all the paper together, grab your scissors and tape, and get cutting. I am cutting up a storm right now. Just like ogres, masks have layers. You want to spend your most time doing the eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul. I'm just using regular old tape for this. Regular old paper, well, colored paper. Cutting them out and I'm sticking them down. The biggest pieces go in the back and the smaller pieces go on top. You gotta know where to see, so just make sure you put a couple of dots right in the middle of the eye there. And this is the part that parents, you definitely need to help out with this, because I'm using an X-Acto knife and I am cutting out the pieces that were stuck on before, because I'm going to make a little eye hole with that see-through mesh right there. That's going to be stuck on the back just with a few pieces of tape, and that's how I'm going to see out. Make sure that these line up with the mask that you have underneath. Otherwise, you won't be able to see. And she's looking pretty good right now. Just going to clean that up a bit. Put some whites in for the eyes. The same thing with the mesh. Now I'm sticking on the mask just with some tape. You can probably use duct tape for the back here, but I'm just using it for the tutorial. And here's how she looks. No, it's not a fursuit. Yes, it's kind of cute. I probably should have made it a little bit bigger so it covered up the top of my head, but something like this is really good because it makes their persona real. It brings it into reality. When I was a kid, I sewed little plushies of the anime characters that I watched, and when I could actually hold them in my hands, it was a lot different from just like drawing them on a piece of paper. So this is just like, oh wow, I've got a mask. I can just put this on and be the character. And if they don't even want to wear it, then they've got just like a nice little drawing. Well, it's not a drawing. They've got something nice they can put on their wall, and it represents who they are in the fandom. It's a lot better than spending $3,000 on something that's not even gonna fit them. Don't buy your kids a fursuit. Don't. Just don't do it. It's gonna be a bad time. Do something else instead. This took me like 30 minutes to make, but I'm a cosplayer and I do stuff on the fly all the time. This might take between like 1, 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't know, depending on who you are, depending on how slowly you want to take it. Just make a day of it. Have fun. Make something. Don't be sad if it's not perfect because it's tape. You can peel it off and try again. How do we look? How do we look side by side? We look pretty good, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right.